Welcome to another session again together, and it's always such a great blessing having you on this channel. So today we are talking about get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your blessing. You know, so many a times we are demanding a blessing from God, and what we fail to understand is that we have not prepared ourselves for the blessing that is about to come, because blessings often come with burdens attached to it. Look at Mary's life. Mary is in this corner. She has not even asked God for the blessing anyways, and you see an angel appearing to her, telling her, "Oh Mary, you see, by this time you're going to give birth to the Messiah." And Mary's like, "How can these things be, seeing I have never known a man?" And the angel is saying, "Don't worry, Mary, it's going to be by the power of the Holy Spirit, for you are blessed amongst women, you are chosen." And Mary's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm chosen amongst women. How privileged to bear the Messiah. How privileged I am." But Mary is not seeing another trouble coming, a burden coming. Her fiance Joseph is worried, and in his heart he doesn't want to make a public embarrassment of her, but he is saying, how can this woman be pregnant? I can't remember. How on earth will people who knew Mary take it? Just imagine, Mary, you've always been a decent girl. You've always been a chaste girl. We have admired you. Look at what you've done. You've gotten pregnant out of wedlock. Do you know the embarrassment? Do you know how shameful it was? The accusations that were coming on Mary, the burden that she was going through just because of this favor. Sometimes when God favors you, it comes with a great burden. People envy the blessings, but they don't know the burden that comes with that blessing. And Mary is trying to explain, "Oh my friends, please, it's not what you think." And they're like, "Get out of here. We always thought you were a church girl. We always thought you loved God. We always thought you claimed that you are pure and holy. Look at what you've done. You're such an embarrassment." I'm sure probably some of her leaders were like, "Look at you. We are so. But the question is, you are asking God for a blessing. Are you ready for the burdens that come with it? You are asking God for a child. Are you ready for the burdens that come with taking care of a child? You are asking God for a wife or husband. Are you ready for the burdens that come with catering for a husband or for a wife? You are asking God for a scholarship. Are you ready to study really hard in the cold, in the night, when it's hard and when it's dark? You are asking God, "God, give me a blessing. I want to have a car." Have you had the capacity to sustain a car in your life? You're asking God, "I want to build a house for my mom, for my dad." Before you ask God for a blessing, sit down and count your cost. Am I ready to accommodate this blessing in my life? Am I ready for such a season in my life? Because when a blessing is coming, there is a burden attached to it. And before you even receive the blessing, there are burdens attached to it. So much so that if it was definitely not God's will and time, you're going to have it really hot. You're going to go through so much pain, so much sorrow, trying to sustain that blessing because you weren't even ready for it in the first place. Look at Elizabeth and Zechariah. We are told that for more than 90 years, this couple had been serving God. Just imagine, Zechariah himself, he was a priest in the temple of God, man of God. You have been offering incense to God. People have been coming to that place, getting their blessing. Why are you not getting your blessing? People have been coming to that same temple and have been going home, having children, having all manner of blessings. But for more than 90 years, you've been serving God. Not just that you were serving God maybe like a borderline Christian. The Bible actually says that you were upright. You were a man of integrity. You served God in righteousness. Your wife served God in righteousness. Man of God, what is going on? Woman after God's own heart, what is going on? You see, those accusations start coming. You say you're serving God, but look at what you're going through. Look at your predicament. They start calling you by your situation. You remember the woman in the Bible with the issue of blood. We know her today as the woman with the issue of blood because they use her situation to describe her so much that people don't care about her name anymore. Look at the man who was by the well, right? He was there and people were getting in, and they were, when the angel shook the pool and people would come there getting their healing, he could not enter into the pool. Why? Because he was bound for more than 38 years. 38 years that man had been there. he could not enter the pool because other people would rush before him. So was he ready for the blessing? This time around, when the master came, the master asked him a simple question: will you be made whole? He starts explaining stories. You know, when the angel shakes the pool and people get their healing, I am not able to go. A master asks you a simple question: will you be made whole? Yes or no? God is asking you, my friend, are you ready for a blessing? Stop explaining to God, God, you know, I've been through so many sorrows. I've faced a lot of pain. God, I've suffered in this life. Poverty is almost killing me. I've suffered a lot of heartbreak. My friends have rejected me. People have accused and condemned me. People have written me off and rejected me. God is simply asking, are you ready for a blessing? He's not asking for explanations. He already knows all what you've been through, and he just wants you to answer in faith. Yes, Lord, I am ready for the blessing. Come what may, despite the questions that will come hereafter, despite all the situations I'll face hereafter, I just need a blessing. Man at the pool, have you thought for a moment that 38 years people already knew that this is your situation? What would they say if they see you walking again? Are you ready to face the crowd now and tell them that you met a man, you had an encounter with a savior who redeemed you? Have you thought for a moment that this is what you're going to go through if you get that blessing? So God is not interested in the story. He knows all the details because he is your creator. He is the orchestrator of your life. Every second you spend in this world, he created the world. He knows every end of it, so he knows all what you're going through. He knows your evil you've done. He knows the evil that has been done against you. He knows when you are repenting of your evil. He knows when other people are repenting of their evil against you. So God does not need the details of the story, because you may be busy accusing people in the story who have already surrendered all at the foot of the cross and repented, and you're there holding malice, resentment, hatred, and you're judging them and you're condemning them. Meanwhile, they have found mercy. Meanwhile, they have found deliverance. They have obtained favor from God, and God is blessing them real good. So God does not need the details. He does not need the details because he's much aware of the details than you are even aware. You only know part of the story because you are limited as human. But God, he searches every reins and heart, so he knows the complete story. Each time you're telling a story, always remember that you're only giving a one-sided story, and there is danger to telling one-sided story, because by the time you're accusing other people, you don't know what was happening on the end of other people too. You don't know what they're thinking about the same scenario too. So when you go around killing people in whatever you're saying about them, trying to run them down, you're trying to justify yourself by condemning others. Always remember that you are not the master of the universe. You are not the creator, because the creator knows all of his creations. He knows you and he knows the other creation. Because of that, he doesn't need the details from you. He knows the entire details and you know it. You only know what hurts you. You only know the part that got into you. You only know your own emotions, how the situation affected your emotions, how the situation affected your life. But you don't know how the situation affected the other person's emotions. You don't know how the situation affected the other person's life. So God is not asking you for the details. God is only asking you, now my son, I know you've gone through all of this. Now my daughter, I know you've gone through all of this, and I am getting ready to give you a blessing. You have borne the cross. Now I want to put your crown on you. Are you ready for the crown, son? Are you ready for the crown, daughter? Because this is what I'm about to do to you. I understand what happened. I know why I allowed it to happen. Now that your heart has been cleansed, now that you have been tested and tried, and yet you came out stronger, trusting me. You came out surrendering all at the foot of the cross. You have actually understood what I want from you. So I want to give you a blessing. My question is, are you ready for the blessing? Stop explaining. I have all the details. Daughter, son, stop explaining. I know it was hurtful. I know it was painful. Are you ready for the blessing I'm about to give you? Zechariah and Elizabeth, are you ready for the blessing I'm about to give you? And I'm telling you that when I bless you with this son, you're going to call his name this. Even though you're trying to rebel, who in my family has had this name? Who in my family has had this name? I have the power to shut your mouth so you become dumb for you to do my will. Are you ready? If you're not ready, tell me so that I'll go and come back at a more convenient time when you're ready. But if you're ready, you can have it. I don't need the explanation. I don't want to know if for 19 years you've not had a child. I just want you to know that this is the appointed time. Because every time you're trying to take a shortcut, you will end up hurting yourself. Look at Abraham. I told him I would give him a covenant son. I loved Abraham with all my heart. And of course, Abraham loves me too because he is my own. But sometimes our human emotions, our feelings get so hurtful because of the things people are saying about us, because of the things people are accusing us of. And they'll be like, you're serving God. Why is this thing not happening to you? Other people who are not serving God, they're having 10, 20, 30 children. You don't even have a child that will take over your properties. And Eliezer will come and take over your properties. And he is so overwhelmed. The wife is even more overwhelmed. And he's like, okay, husband, you can take my maid. She provides a human solution to a problem that is divine. Why are you trying to provide a solution? My daughter, I don't want you to be desperate because there's an appointed time. I don't want you to provide a human solution because you only end up hurting yourself. You only end up in pains and tears because I did not send you in the first place. I know you loved it. I know you cherished it. I know you desired it. I know this is what you want. But I want it for you too, but not this time around. Not at this time. This is not the needful time for it. You end up hurting yourself. If you go into Hagar, I will definitely give you a child through her, but you end up hurting yourself and generations after you. Nevertheless, I am a faithful God, a covenant-keeping God. I keep to my promises. I keep to my part of the back end. And when I tell you that I will bless you, because I'm not a man that will lie, neither the son of man that will repent, believe me, I will bless you. I am bringing Isaac to you. I'm bringing the covenant child to you at my appointed time, not your appointed time. So God is saying, are you ready for the blessing? Are you ready for his appointed time? Because God is getting ready to open up the windows of heaven, not just the doors alone, to give you a blessing. And if you are not ready enough, you cannot contain that blessing, because when he comes late, he comes big. When he says he will do it, he does it in a manner that you can never expect it to be done. He says he will do a thing that eyes have not seen or ears heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man. He will do it for those who love him. Do you love God? Are you ready? How do you get ready for the blessing? You get ready in your heart disposition, in your relationship with him. God does not just want to bless you and then lose your soul away from him. He wants your soul, then adds a blessing to it. God does not want something that would rather take you away from his kingdom and his presence, but he wants to give you something that you would enjoy, because his blessings make rich and adds no sorrow. And after enjoying it, you enjoy with him through all eternity. He wants your soul first. That's the best blessing he has given you, the gift of salvation. And so if your salvation cannot be maintained, then he wouldn't want to give you something that will take away your salvation from you. Maybe you would actually enjoy that blessing, but for this season, if he gives you that blessing, it would definitely ruffle your salvation somehow. So God is saying, are you ready? Have you grown spiritually mature enough to handle this blessing? Have you grown emotionally mature enough to handle this blessing? Have you grown morally mature enough to handle this blessing? Have you grown enough to handle this blessing? So much that when I bless you with these finances will not take you away from my presence. When I bless you with this wife, this husband, this wife will not take you away from my presence. When I bless you with these children will not take you away from my presence. When I bless you with this abundance, this fame, this possession, it will not take you away from my presence. It will rather be a battle axe that you would use to win souls into my kingdom. It will be a battle axe that you will use to glorify me upon the face of the earth. It will be a battle axe that you would use to give testimonies upon testimonies about the wonders of my hands. God is getting ready to bless you. The question is, are you ready for the blessing? Are you ready for this blessing? Can you handle this blessing? So next time, when you're going on your knees to pray, praying for finances, praying for education, praying for a wife, a husband, children, praying for possessions of life, praying to build a house, praying to buy a car, praying to have all the influence you want, God is saying, son, daughter, are you ready? Are you ready? So get ready, get up and get ready. Get up, go down on your knees and get ready. That's how you get ready. You get ready by surrendering all at the foot of the cross. You get ready by praying. You get ready by staying with God. You get ready by reading his manual, meditating his word day and night, so that you can be able to understand his will, his purpose and plan for your life. Because sometimes when the blessing comes, you would be crying, Father, Father, this is too much to bear. Because sometimes the burdens come with a blessing too. When the burdens are coming your way so high, so rough, so hard, there is a blessing attached to it. That cross you're bearing right now, there is a blessing, there is a crown attached to it. And so God is asking you, this burden you are going through, if you're telling me to take away this burden, if you're telling me to take away this cup, if you're telling me that I have forsaken you, have you forgotten that there is a blessing attached to this burden? There is a crown attached to this cross. My dear sister, you've been crying all night long, all the disappointments, all the failures, all the rejections, all the accusations. My dear brother, you've been crying all these times, asking God for one thing or the other, all the suffering, all the disappointment, all the rejections. And God is saying, son, I have been watching everything that is happening. And the devil sought to destroy you. I told him that he could touch you, but not your soul. He could come tempting you, he could come trying you, because I know you would stand, but not your soul, because your soul is in the palms of my hands. Because your soul is in the palm of my hands. Son, you are mine.